most famous cons in the world, it's another short con, is something called, you might have seen it in the movies, you might have seen like cowboy films, that kind of thing, or you may have even actually seen it. It does take place on Regent Street, Oxford Street, Piccadilly Circus, Covent Garden, these sorts of places every day of the year, especially during tourist season. It's a little something called 3-card Monte. Have people heard of this?
Yes.
Yeah? People know what 3-card Monte is? It's also known as Find the Lady, or Chase the Lady, or that sort of thing. And it's essentially, what it looks like, it's a street con, in the sense that someone does a trick, and you bet on whether or not you can see how it's done, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of misunderstandings about. I'll show you how it's done. There's a lot of misunderstanding about this particular one because people generally think they can, as long as they're looking hard enough and they keep their eye on the card, they can actually do it. You can beat the con trick, as it were. Sadly for you, that's not the case, and I'll explain why that is. 2 interesting facts about 3-card Monte is, firstly, a gentleman called Soapy Smith. This is completely true. In 1898. Was shot dead over a game of 3-card Monte in the US. He was a professional gambler, confidence trickster, named by Soapy Smith, and he got caught out cheating at 3-card Monte, and he was shot dead. Obviously, the news of Soapy's death was rather tragic, and a lot of people said, "Ah, Soapy's dead. That's Life Boy." Joke there for anyone who ever bought soap in the 1970s. Life Boy being a brand of soap. We'll move on. The other interesting thing about, that's the best thing I can come up with for that one. The other interesting thing about 3-card Monte is that an American magician called John Lenihan was thrown out of the Magic Circle, officially, was a member of the Magic Circle, and was thrown out of the Magic Circle for revealing to the public what I'm about to show you now. That's a bit exciting, isn't it? This guy actually lost his Magic Circle membership for doing what I'm about to do. And now, I don't know what happens when you lose the Magic Circle membership. What do they do? Is that a bad thing, to be thrown out of the Magic Circle? I don't know, do they snap the wands? I have no idea. Presumably they take away your magic. Do they take away your magic? They rid you of your magic, and you have to go through your life using sleight of hand, gadgets, tricks, and things that those other guys use. What are they called?
Muggles.
Magicians. Yes, that's true. Precisely. So, I'll show you how it works. The trick itself is very simple. You need 3 cards. You have 2 black jacks and a red queen. Okay. Now you can examine these. These aren't. Take a look at those. These aren't trick cards. There's no false backs. They're not marked. They're not bent. You can do this with any card you like. That is not how this works. Obviously, because if they were trick cards or mark cards or two faces on the stuff, then people would examine them and it would be all over. You have to do this with regular cards. So I'm going to show you how it's done. You can fool your friends and become one of those irritating twats at parties who says, "Oh, I'm going to show you a trick," and who nobody likes.
Surely not.
No, okay. So this is how it works. Firstly, it's a hustle. It's a street corner hustle. And what you're going to do is you've got to keep an eye on where the red queen is. Okay, there's 1 red queen and 2 black jacks. Now, what the gambler will do is first make it incredibly easy for you to see where the queen is. They may even do it face up to start with. So they'll put, they'll hold the cards like so. Always the same grip. Black in that, 1 jack in that hand, jack and a queen in that hand, and they might do it face up. So they'll go. Drop a jack, drop a jack, drop a queen. And you say, "Where's the queen?" And then we go, "What?" And they say, "Yes, it is." So they'll do it again, just to get the idea. Now you'll notice, every time they do it, no matter where they put the cards, drop the jack, drop the jack, drop the queen. The queen's always the 3rd one to land. Always. So what they're hoping is that you start spotting a pattern. So no matter how fast they do it, it's always the 3rd one, it's always the queen. So they'll do this over and over again. Oops. And you'll notice the way they hold the cards does rather suggest that they're going to drop this one, then this one, and then finally the one at the back. For example, like so. Where's the queen? In the middle, you see? So they'll keep doing this for hours on end while people watch, until people start going, "Wait a second, I can see it's always the 3rd one, it's always the 3rd one, it's always the 3rd one." What? So we'll do it again. Watch carefully. Where's the queen? This one?
Yeah.
Correct, because it's always the 3rd one. And you keep this going. Then you get some guy come over and say, "I bet I can spot the queen." Go on, would you like to come and do that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell. There we go. Okay.
Yep.
With the queen. This one?
Yep.
Sure?
Yep.
Hooray! And everyone claps. Because, is Dom a member of the public? No! You, in fact, work for me. You're what we call a shill. Absolutely.
Yep.
You're a shill, and it's your job to make this look even easier, because I start then handing over the cash. Oh, well done, mate, which I'm not obviously going to do tonight.
Right.
Until we get a regular member of the public to make a bet. And would anyone like to be my regular member of the public?
I will.
Yeah, become. Thank you, Dom. You can sit down. We no longer need our shill. See, you've spotted how this is done, haven't you? You know to spot for the third one. It's always the third one. And you can tell that by the way I hold them. So, we then do this. Oops. Well, we do that better. But you can see what I'm doing, right? That's the whole point. 1, 2, 3. And you lose all your money. Round of applause for Caroline, please. Because, what did I employ? I employed a little move called the Gypsy Toss. What is it?
Yeah.
The Gypsy Toss. I don't know why it's called the Gypsy Toss. Something to do with, I don't know, David Essex and benefit fraud, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe clothes pegs. But it's called the Gypsy Toss. In fact, the move, as Caroline probably actually spotted, let's face it. You didn't see it? Did you see it? Is, what you're doing is, you are throwing, when you're releasing the cards, you are throwing the one at the back before you're throwing the one at the front. So rather than this, you're doing, just see if we can get this right. This. Okay, so it's the one at the back that hits the ground first. And if you're listening out for the third one, then you're thinking the one in the hand is always the thing, and that's how you do it. Now, so that's how it's done. Gypsy Toss, that's meant to throw you. But, you might think, well surely, if you were really keeping your eye on it, you could spot that being done, couldn't you? And you could get your money back. No. Because the confidence men are one step ahead of you all the way. Because there is another manoeuvre, more tricky than the gypsy toss, which is called the Mexican turnover. I don't know why! It's called the Mexican turnover. Who makes these things? I don't know. But, what you'll notice is when they reveal the cards to you, whether or not you found the queen, rather than just going, who's here, who's here, who's here, they will do a little fancy manoeuvre, which is meant to look stylish, which is when they take a card and they flip it over and they go, there's your queen. That's the manoeuvre they'll use. Rather than just turn them over, you'll watch and they'll go, there's the jack. Seems to be just a bit of a sort of a fancy Dan way of doing it, but it isn't. Because if you've spotted the queen, and you say, it's the middle one, they'll do a very cunning move called the Mexican, Mexican turnover? Yep. Or gypsy turnover? Mexican toss? You see, it's very confusing. The Mexican turnover, in which they swap one card for another by doing this. They'll take this, and they'll attempt to show you what this card is, but what they'll actually do is slide it under. Oops, I'm going to try that again. I'll slide it under and do a swappity-doo, like that, you see? That little move. Now that's the one that takes the practice, okay? So we can go home and practice this. There's your queen, but you have to disguise it by doing that, sliding it under, and then doing a bit of a flash, you see? So even if you've spotted it, you're still never going to spot it, because they'll simply whip it away from you, okay? So that's the three-card Monte, and you can't win. Okay, you'll see people lose hand over fist because a lot of people are there's still this idea that if you're quick you'll get it, or it's all sleight of hand. It is sleight of hand, but also cheating. Okay, it's just cheating, and eventually, if you do pick it just by luck, chances are any money you win will be taken from you by the shill when you leave, who will come over and punch you in the kidneys normally, take the money from you, and then scarper. So even if you know, the fact is you can't win with the three-card Monte, but that's how you do it. So what are the two moves to watch out for?
Gypsy toss.
Which is? Anyone want to have a go at the gypsy toss? That's fine, I'll show you one more time. The trick is that you put that one between the first and the thumb and second finger, and this one with the thumb and third finger. And depending on which finger you release, will depend on which one hits the ground first. With me? That one's done. And the Mexican turnover, you're absolutely right, is a matter of sliding it underneath, and just as you're about to flip it, I don't know if you can see from there, but just as you're about to flip it, you grab the other one. Okay, it's a fast move, that one, but look out for them. Okay, so that's that.